PikaPals versus DrunkenDraconian. Let's have fun with Randomizer. And so we start in Link's house, and we get a little bit of love, and everyone is starting in Link's house, so...
Yeah, so this is, if 2 is a high 5, this might be a group hug.
Alright, let's get your group hugs out here. They're all heading to the castle. Look at this. Everyone's got the same idea. Nobody's picking up the sign.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to go try to tug the tree. They're going to go visit the uncle. Oh, we got a little bit of divergence. PikaPals. Oh, gets a bomb drop. That's good.
Yeah, very nice.
We'll also gets to tug the tree, see what we get. What does the uncle have?
More
Uncle
bombs.
has bombs! And magic, small magic has the refill on the first pull. And 20 rupees inside the chest, and DrunkenDraconian is going to pick up a pot, try to kill some guards, see what we get, and that's it for everybody here. Let's head to the sanctuary. What do we got at the sanctuary this time?
The cape.
Interesting place with the cape, because what does that make you think?
Well, everybody likes to jump right to that Agahnim conclusion just because it's so fun.
I'm going to jump to the conclusion that Bumper Cape's going to be required.
Yeah, at the very least, it's going to be available. We know that. And other than that, if we do end up fighting Vitreous, we do have just another option for dealing with the goop and the swarm of eyeballs.
Hippos is going to tug the tree, so does Sid, and they're going to be disappointed. DrunkenDraconian pulling the tree, and PikaPals, I don't think we'll pull the tree because it's already been disappointed once. Let's find out if this is going to be an anxiety tree.
Yeah, the big difference between Hippo and Sid there, whoa, just a green rupee.
Oh.
The big difference between Hippo and Sid's plays there was Hippo remembered to store a kill on that. And so when Sid took the pull, it actually came up blank.
By the way, I saw at least 2 crystals, maybe 3, when we just got a map check. We'll wait to see someone else confirm that for us. And we get 20 rupees here in where the mushroom spot normally is. So Hippos is going to pick that up because you want to have 100 rupees for Kakariko Village, obviously.
Yep, you got to get to that bottle vendor.
I love the fact that 4 runners and all 4 are going the same exact way so far.
Yeah, this is one of the standard openings for this format, depending on what you find at the castle, basically. And since that didn't really pay out with anything interesting, they wanted to keep on going.
So our tracker confirms to us that it is all 3 crystals in the light world.
Oh, very nice. And this means that our runners are gonna get a chance to miss out on some, well, potentially miss out, or maybe have to make some unfortunate dives into some of the less loved dungeons, we'll say.
You mean there's unloved dungeons?
As far as I know, Ice Palace isn't terribly popular with most people. I could be wrong about that.
That's a chilling discovery.
Yeah, it's really not an ice thing to say about it, is it?
Oh, goodness. We're going to start with the puns, aren't we?
Yeah.
The puns have been flowing
We're gonna get things underway.
The puns have been flowing in this chat for 4 hours now, ever since Elminster had the pear bunch in here.
That's fantastic. We're gonna make sure we keep that going strong. But yeah, not too much out of blinds, it looks like. So we'll have to drop into the well.
The biggest thing is that they got money.
Yeah.
They're at all above 90 rupees at this point.
Right, which, because of the 2 vanilla 5 drops in there, along with this back room, if I remember right, yeah, that gives them enough to get to the bottle vendor.
And we get... This has been a dud Kakariko, so... Oh, there's the single arrow.
There we go.
This has been a dud Kakariko Village so far.
Yeah.
There's nothing to move this seat along.
Oh, got a bit of a stop on Hippo Street.
And even the vendor is not giving you all that much. He's just going to give you a piece of heart.
Let's see if DrunkenDraconian goes for the chicken clip to bless this chest. Oh, and it looks like he's not going to.
You'll be the first one to check this. And there's the lantern. You know what that screams?
More Aga? But no, we're still 1 or 2 items short for that.
A sword.
Well, yeah, I guess just one sword.
That's all we're short.
Yeah, the other play this opens up is, of course, Eastern Palace. Or at least the back of it, anyway. Well, not the back, but the right side.
Look at the synchronicity we got going on the right-hand side. PikaPals is going to go into the doorless hut. And I didn't see what was in that library. I think it's 20 rupees, though.
I think so, too.
Okay, let's find out both on the right-hand side what we're going to get from the race game. Oh, the sword!
Well, there we go. And with these guys in a veritable sync, we'll see who manages to get to that sword real quick. Truly a race.
That's why they call it the race
no.
game. Oh no! DrunkenDraconian has now
Hippo
lost
pulls
the
ahead
lead.
with an accurate bomb throw out the door.
Hippo now hits into the lady. Tells
15
him
seconds,
he's
go,
got
go,
a second. He pulls around, lifts over the bushes, lifts those up, and it looks like Hippo's going to be the first one to claim a sword this seed. You can have this trash.
Yeah, gladly. And we'll see Sydarial will be pulling in... oh, what's that in horse racing? He shows?
Yep, that would be a show.
Yeah.
And hopefully he doesn't show at the end of this race. He would love to win.
Yeah. But yeah, so these are all the items to make a run on Agahnim, but of course our players are going to be reticent for that.
Yeah, these guys are going to want to try to explore everything they have to make sure that Agahnim is not required. But based on the fact that the cape was in Sanctuary, it makes you really think it, and this is only going to get even more emphasized if we find the Moon Pearl really soon.
Indeed. Now, the one play we might see our players make before going to Aga will involve going to the castle. Because they have the lamp now, they can actually go through the back of Escape as well.
And that's what we're going to likely see. PikaPals is changing things up. PikaPals is heading... Well, I think it was just a reset. Never mind. Hippo and DrunkenDraconian is going to be the first ones to head into the mini Moldorm cave.
Yeah, and it hasn't been often, I think, that we see runners actually have the sword before they get in here. We've had a lot of bomb strats and anything else we might pick up. But now it's just the, I guess, sort of vanilla sword spins.
Well, we got money. We got a piece of heart. We got more money. And we got more arrows and more money.
A dud of a mini Moldorm cave.
This has been one quite dud of a seat so far for items.
Yeah, I mean, we got a set of very particular items.
The only items we have seen so far are items leading to Aga.
Yeah, and our players cannot be too happy about that.
I'm certain DrunkenDraconian couldn't have been too happy about getting zapped by the pickle thing.
Yeah, the choo-choo.
If that's what you want to call them.
I think so. We've got a little bit of divergence here as we have a hobo check and an ice rod cave check.
And
we'll see if the hobo is any better.
Yeah, the ice rod cave only turning out to be +5 arrows turn out not to be anything interesting. So how nice does it feel to have the sword 6 minutes into a run?
It's definitely nice to have that permanent weapon.
Piece of heart pickup for DrunkenDraconian, so even the hobo has nothing interesting.
Indeed.
What are the options remaining for these players that don't have them going to Agahnim right now? Well, they've got the entire portion of Escape. They might be able to get through the backside, and we do get the map check.
Eastern was number 5.
4. Oh, Eastern was 5, okay.
I believe.
But we have the escape, we have Sarashala's hut, we have the chest in Eastern. And you're guaranteed 2 items there.
And yeah, that's correct. You will be able to get 2 items out of Eastern. Then the plate of Gina. And then hopefully there's something else that develops in the meantime.
Well, let's see what we have coming up. So far, it hasn't turned out to be anything interesting inside the Hyrule Castle, but we've only seen 1 item, and that's 20 rupees.
Yeah, and no surprise, it is the most plentiful drop in the game.
20 plus 20 rupees in this entire game, you're bound to find at least 1 in a run. If you don't find 1, there's a bow.
Okay.
That screams Eastern.
It sure does. That is now completable. Being a crystal, you're pretty much at the regular loadout for it, and a little bonus in the cape if you really wanted. Although it would take away from your ability to shoot.
All right, time to play the game Things in Zelda's Chest.
This is the part of the show where we guess what is in Zelda's chest.
Keep it G-rated, guys.
Yeah, I always go with the anatomy lesson. There's a heart in there, but this time it's a bomb upgrade.
So Sid is going to be heading over towards Rashla, and without the bow in hand, will not be able to complete Eastern, but Hippo, DrunkenDraconian, and PikaPals will be able to.
Yeah, that's going to end up most likely leading to a pretty big advantage for Hippo out of this. The only difference being that if Sydarial... Draconian probably death warping.
Yeah, I would assume that was a death warp. PikaPals is going to the back 1 final chest. So too is DrunkenDraconian. Hippo is going to go check Sarashla. And that is indeed number 5 added to Eastern. But only 60 rupees behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what is the progression at Eastern? Because this is what the seed is screaming at this point.
Right. And if it turns up with nothing, I think they only have about 1 more place to check out in the west side of the map at Agahnim.
Now, let me ask you a question. Have you how much have you been paying attention to the items in Hyrule Castle?
Let's see. I think we saw 2.
Well,
no,
here's,
3.
Here's the
3.
thing. Here's the thing. That means there's only 1 item in the back side of Escape, because the other 2 are going to be the map and the key.
Right. Very interesting.
So sit now in Eastern. The first item, a heart container. I have a feeling the items 2 and 3 are behind the lamp and the arrow.
I would not be surprised at this point.
Oh, Skull Woods is the green pen that PikaPals talking to Sarashla to get that information for us.
Very interesting.
So there's the big key. And that does confirm that we are going to probably see an item. No, it doesn't confirm it, but I still think we're going to see an item behind the lamp block.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting very close to determining that, and with the lamp just being so valuable in general, and also for the way the dungeon's laid out, I think, yeah, there has to be at least 1 past the lamp.
So far, the seed has forced these guys onto a similar path, although they didn't really have to go on that similar path at the very beginning. It's going to be 4 runners at 14 minutes in, all in the same dungeon. Only difference is, one of these runners cannot beat this dungeon at this point.
Yeah, Sydarial's missing that bow.
First one of the big chest, and that does confirm that we are going to go into the dark room.
Right, so we have 2 of our items now, a heart container and 20 rupees.
20 rupees? That sucks.
Yeah, that was out of the compass room. So I think we're up to 3 or 4 20 drops at this point.
Well, we had 3 behind Sarashla, so...
Oh, never mind. Yeah, we're probably up to about 7.
We're not going to count all the 20s. We have 4 runners to keep track of. We can hardly keep track of them as it is. Well, here we go. Sid is going to come to the last chest he can look at, and that's the map. So the Armos has the final item, which means the bow could lead us to the progression item.
It would seem so.
If nothing ends up being here at the Armos, the remaining options would be Agahnim or Pyramid Ledge.
Or at least something accessible after Agahnim. Oh, well, right, but
that's what the Pyramid Ledge is.
Need the Moon Pearl. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the Moon Pearl. That could turn out to be the Power Glove that gets him up onto Death Mountain. Or the book that gets him into Desert.
Right, or perhaps even a flute.
Which also would get them up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, Flute Boy's apparently lost in Dark World somewhere, so that would just fit right in.
So we are going to see the bow coming up for Sid in just a few moments, and that's probably going to make him feel a little ill finding the bow after he had gone through Eastern.
Yeah, he's going to feel a bit frustrated right off the bat here, less than 20 minutes in, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to make a mental recovery of it, and who knows what the seed has in store for us. We might see quite a bit of back and forth before the end of it.
Well, here we go. Hippo is going to be the first one to come to the Armos. This will tell us a lot right now. What is going to be the item that comes out of the Armos? And the drop is
the
Moon Pearl!
All right. Well...
Hello, Agahnim.
Yeah, do you even bother with the Agahnim? I think you probably do. Because if the Agahnim play doesn't pay off... Well, no, I guess it's one item left.
Yeah, Agahnim is so far out of the way.
Yeah, it pretty much has to be the gloves.
You can fake Flipper.
Yeah,
but you're 2 items
inside the sequence, but yeah.
You are still 2 items away from Dark World access, being the hammer or both Power Glove upgrades.
Right.
And Hippo's going to make the move.
Yeah, it looks like DrunkenDraconian's right behind him.
Yeah, you have to make this move at this point.
I think so. It's a pretty low possibility at this point that Agahnim is going to hold a single Power Glove for you to get up to Death Mountain and then find the other progression.
Oh, Hippo's going to check the back of the sewers first. Will be sorely disappointed to find that there are only bombs.
Right.
But actually, given his bomb count, that might actually pay off to the fact that he's going to need bombs if he decides to go into pod.
True story, and he may even end up leveraging them on some of the more annoying enemies in the ascent to Agahnim.
He's got 25 arrows. I think he would use arrows before he decides to go with the bomb strats.
This is definitely true, but...
PikaPals is going to check Agahnim. So...
We're going to get all the information.
Yeah, we are. We are going to get as much information as we possibly can. Oh no, PikaPals is checking Swamp.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I might continue on.
So Hippo is going to go backwards because he found out that he's locked and can't go back to the start of Hyrule Castle. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Now, Sid, as you mentioned, is feeling a little woozy at this point because where he found the bow means he has to double up on this Eastern.
Yeah, the nice thing being, at least he doesn't have to make that long trek that kind of re-circles the dungeon this time, but still, it's already a half of a traversal too many.
That's correct. Now, here is the thing. Here's the thing. If PikaPals finds a book here, or finds a glove, that might make this pay off for PikaPals. Anything else, it's trouble at this point.
Yeah, exactly it. So Drunken making good progress, but now down to 1 heart.
It's
2
50
hearts now with the
rupees.
nice. Oh,
This game is a forced Agahnim. Now, DrunkenDraconian, as you mentioned, now has 2 hearts, but still got to be careful because this room here, these enemies deal 1 heart of damage. If I was him, I'd start using more of those arrows, but he's down to single digits of those.
Right. But apparently PikaPals hadn't done any of the southern traversal. Maybe he is setting up the fake flip.
I think PikaPals with the Moon Pearl is going to do the fake flippers and Jesus walk.
And Sid does finish up Eastern Palace then.
DrunkenDraconian is going to go check up the 6th floor. We'll be the first one to Agahnim. So I like to play a game when we do an Agahnim in this tower. It's guess the amount of blue balls. The maximum any runner can get is 15. The minimum, well, let's hope for 0. Take your guesses right now. How many blue balls do you think DrunkenDraconian or other runners are going to get?
Do you have a guess you like to wager on this one?
I'm going to go 3.
That was what I was going to say, and so I'll go 1 worse with a 4.
6 hits to knock off Agahnim.
Yeah.
Here we go.
PikaPals, in the meantime, making the hobo check and very nicely landing that fake flipper there.
So the first in every stage here of Agahnim will always be an orb. What happens between 2 and 4 is a different story. Hippo's going to have to be careful. He's down to a heart still, and we'll take care of the guard with the arrow strats, which is good. And we get a blue ball.
And we're seeing a bit of sync on our left side as both of these runners head to the waterfall cave.
Yeah. This is PikaPals trying to avoid Agahnim, and Sid right now just trying to find something to get him back in because he knows he's behind, or he would have a good idea that he's behind.
And it's a little bit of love and 3 bombs.
And don't forget, this is a sequence break at this point.
Oh, absolutely. The seed at this point intended an Agahnim fight.
Let's see what's on the ledge. Just another 20 rupee.
Mm-hmm. And Pika's going to end up putting his eastern entry in a tiny bit of danger, or his pod entry in a tiny bit of danger.
PikaPals still on the Jesus walk, and Sid lost it. DrunkenDraconian is done with Agahnim, and we get a little bit of love
Off of
from our friend Zora.
typical love
What's on the
lesson.
pyramid?
It's the glove. Too much.
That opens up the Death Mountain access.
Indeed.
Doesn't open anything else here in the Dark World at this point. We might see a map check coming soon from DrunkenDraconian. Now, we already know because of PikaPals. There's the map check. Oh, we got Turtle Rock being the red pendant, green pendant was Skull, as we knew already, blue pendant being Swamp.
And 6 is Thieves Town.
All right.
Taking a nice long look at that map on Draconian screen. PikaPals bites the bullet and heads up to begin the ascent. And Hippo is nearing the end of his Agahnim fight.
Where's Sid going at this point?
I cannot be sure.
Did Sid forget something in his early Kakariko village trip?
Short on a bomb at some point?
Oh, he didn't have enough money for the bottle vendor.
Oh. I'll tell you what. Good on him for checking that before Agahnim. It's easy for us to think otherwise when we know that it ends up being required.
All right, Pod. Where are we going to go? Sid's going to have a problem with money coming soon. He only has 10 rupees, and there's no way you can get 100 rupees when you go into Aghanim's tower.
Right. We're in the unusual situation of entering pod with a bow but no hammer.
Ooh, this is a bow required pod too.
Interesting.
We see the compass out of chest number 1. That means they have to go through the mimics.
Hippo just fending off that trash bag monster. Making sure he doesn't have to pay another 100 rupees. Or another 10, I guess.
Hippo's getting the map check as well, and more confirmation for us of what we ended up seeing earlier. DrunkenDraconian now. The first one to the mimics, so we'll get to really focus on him as he makes his way through here, because at this point, the progression is either here in pod, or in the 3 possible items you have access to right now. Actually, 2 items you have access to with Death Mountain. Your odds are greater of getting something here in pod.
Oh, definitely.
But what if Catfish has something? Because the Power Glove does open up Catfish.
It's true. And we've seen him pack him before, so... Definitely something to have something these players mulling over, I'm sure.
Alright, DrunkenDraconian is going to get bounced around like a pinball on purpose so he can death warp back to the start because we don't have a mirror just yet.
Right, and backtracking is not really a part of an optimal speedrun.
Backtracking in this dungeon is horrible.
Oh,
regardless of whether or not
worst.
you're a casual player or a speedrunner.
And you were surprised there were unlocked dungeons.
So DrunkenDraconian making it to the back. This is usually where the items start to pop up and we see a small key pop on downstairs. So what do we got going on downstairs? Well, DrunkenDraconian is going to be picking up a whole bunch of rupees and Hippo ends up dying. But that may have been on purpose.
I think so. He was getting around the same spot where we saw DD make the same move.
When you say DD, I'm thinking Dunkin' Donuts. This stream, by the way, is not sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
But if they want to talk, they can talk to Fiesel.
Drunken Draconuts. Wait a minute.
America runs on DrunkenDraconian.
There we go. Alright, and an arrow upgrade up top in the vanilla big key spot. Oh, and
Oh, yeah.
Drunken goes for the hammer yump.
Yep, and he ended up missing out on that. Hippo now will make his way over, and it does look like DrunkenDraconian is trying to set things up. Can he get the right pixel? Looks like he's fighting the right pixel at this point. And he got it. And there's the Canis of Maria! Well, by
Yump,
God,
well
I'm not
worth.
gonna go further on with the explanation because I'm not a fan of Ryu. And when he goes, oh, the hammer!
An almost
The
vanilla hammer. Wow.
Fine, just because we found those 2 items there, by God, it's gotta be Cane and Hammer. Somebody stop me.
Nope.
Fine. PikaPals is farming for rupees. 93 rupees, needs 110 in order to go into pod. Sid is in worse shape with only 27 rupees at this point. And PikaPals is going to opt out.
Yeah, there's going to be easier things for these guys to do, like set up a houlihan. In the meantime, this hammer makes this dungeon beatable, which is quite interesting to me.
Yeah, you had to pop in here, and you're kind of forced to go in here anyway.
Yeah, it seemed like the only real
you're
play.
You're likely not going to find what you needed. Now, we know there's only going to be one item here in Escape, and that one item is... the book!
Well then. Certainly not ruled out of its usefulness yet.
But that's going to now make PikaPals decide of going somewhere else than where he needs to go, which would be Pod.
Right.
Because that book opens up Desert. Now, Desert might not be beatable, and here comes Sid to pick up the book as well.
Right. Yeah, if it ends up needing the boots, that'll, well, it'll slow these guys down. And if not, though, I mean, it's still about as valuable as of a play. It's just the hammer and the cane are both pretty useful.
Oh, Sid is backtracking. He will be very, very unhappy to only find 3 bombs. So when he gets to Draconian and Hippo will be able to finish off this dungeon now because of the hammer being here.
Right. In the meantime, PikaPal's making the Death Mountain play.
PikaPals would love to find a vanilla mirror right now.
Yeah, sure would.
We had nearly vanilla hammer. Could we have very nearly vanilla mirror? No. It's old man love.
Oh, get that old man love in the chat. I mean...
So PikaPals wanted vanilla. All he got was chocolate.
I'm gonna say it's a Valentine's joke. We're gonna leave it at that.
If you say so. And yep, that Death Mountain trap is trash. The answer for PikaPals is to go into Pod. And with 108 rupees, I think that's where PikaPals is going to be going in just a moment. Or not. Or not.
Hey, it looks like maybe we'll get the desert play after all. As DD starts up his Helmasaur fight.
Now we know Helmasaur is going to have an item because they've already found the map and the compass.
That is correct. He's got that mask off, and we're going to start trying to unload arrows before you get tackled.
He does have to be careful because 3 hearts, if he gets tackled by Helmasaur, I believe he loses 2 hearts per hit.
I think so. And of course the fireballs are their own problem.
Like, he should have this fight, and he does have this fight wrapped up.
Very nice.
Just a little more stressful than it needed to be. And what was on that pyramid ledge? I missed it. What does Helmasaur have? The Bloomerang.
Oh, the desert ledge? I missed it myself.
And now Hippo going up. 3 hearts has the same issue coming up here with the Helmasaur. So the PikaPals question right now is, am I able to beat this dungeon? We'll find out immediately. But what that ends up doing... Hippo's gonna go hammer strats, not hammer strats, he's gonna go cape strats, but still has to be extremely careful. You do not want to take a death here. You do not want to take a death at all.
No,
I like
not
the
when
side
you're
play,
but
oh no!
Oh
no, he doesn't get in time!
No!
No!
Oh jeez.
Sid is farming rupees.
That's fair enough.
Go all the way back to the start. And we find out that boots are required for desert.
Indeed, the map room held an item, which means there is either a big or small key on the torch. And then you take that to either side of the dungeon, pick up the other key.
Now, one of the things that Hippo tried to do is pull out the cape. But the thing is, you have about a 1 to 2 second delay before you're allowed to actually activate it, and by that point in time he was going to be tackled by something. He was tackled by the fireball. So Hippo's going to get his revenge against the Homicide King, while DrunkenDraconian is going to give us our first trip through Western Dark World Hyrule.
Indeed. And yeah, in the meantime, Pika had stopped by Sick Kid, which turned out a whole one rupee.
Other single rupee.
Yep.
So the single rupees were in desert and up above the lumberjack tree. So DrunkenDraconian's making the play I would at this point, and that is to go into Skull Woods. There's a greater incentive to checking Skull Woods at this point, and that is because this is a pendant dungeon.
In particular, the green pendant.
Well, you can't beat it, but because it's a pendant dungeon, you might not be really eager to finish this dungeon off, so you might as well try to go and see if you can't find both of the items. And there's the boots!
Well then.
What are those? As DrunkenDraconian finds the boots required in the seed. There's the flippers, also required.
Skull Woods? It's SW, but maybe it's DSW? Just all sorts of footwear.
Oh, that's great. We've got great opportunities for more sponsorships here on the Speed Gaming channel thanks to this stream. Hello, Dunkin' Donuts and DSW. Now, DrunkenDraconian does want to make it out of this dungeon because if he ends up dying, he falls back into the hole. He's not at an entrance. He ends up dying.
We do see Hippo get that revenge.
And he gets the bloomerang. So, big play here from DrunkenDraconian to go through Skull Woods to find the boots, to find the flippers, both going to be required. Well, I don't know if the flippers are going to be required because Swamp turned out to be a pendant.
Yeah.
But
logically required for Ice Palace, but of course that's in one of the easier fake flipper spots, so. That'll be quite alright, and I think you mentioned the boots now actually make Desert Palace beatable for Drunken.
That is a fantastic spot for them too. Very fantastic. And DrunkenDraconian is done in Skull Woods.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a quicker pendant Skull Woods clear.
Absolutely. So with Turtle Rock being and Skull Woods being pendants. Oh, there's the Titan's Myth. The magic cape was required.
Oh, wow.
Twice it was.
Actually, yeah, I guess we both ended up calling that, right? Aga and Bumper Cape.
That is correct.
Wild. Whoever made this seed was a fan of the cape. Although I can't say that in earnest because these, of course, are randomized.
But the question right now, as I was starting to allude to before DrunkenDraconian found where the bits are, which is going to make exploration for him a little bit easier once he gets done with Myrtledactyls. With both Skull Woods and Turtle Rock being pendant dungeons, there is a realistic possibility that we could not see the Fire Rod this seed.
It's true. If we get a hold of that Bombos medallion, we may see our runners just go ahead and use that alternate strat, especially if they end up loaded out with a stronger sword, or the hammer will do tempered sword damage, but of course it's smaller range. Makes it a bit less desirable in that regard.
So, with Turtle Rock being a pendant, Skull Woods being a pendant, and Swamp House being pendants, there's nothing stopping this game from saying, hey look, the hook shot and the fire rod could be in Ganon's tower.
That'd be pretty wild, and I'm sure not having that hook shot is going to give our runners pause, because it's, of course, unless you can hover, required to get through Moldorm 2.
Now, obviously, you do need that hook shot because, as you mentioned, unless these guys can hover, hey, we find a blue mail inside Thieves Town. But right now, at this point, we do already have a cape, which means anything on the right-hand side of Ice Palace beyond that spike room is accessible by logic.
Yeah.
But we're going to find Hookshot soon enough. Sid is going to make the play that nobody else has so far. And that is going to be on over and see what the catfish has. Now, Hippos ended up going to the desert to find out this is not where you need to go. DrunkenDraconian is currently on the perfect route.
It seems like it. He's made, I think, every single decision ahead of all three of the other runners, and especially his opponent at this point.
Just a reminder to anyone who's just tuning in, this is 4 racers right now. They're all on the same seed. Sid and Hippos on the top are racing each other in the tournament, and PikaPals and DrunkenDraconian are racing each other on the bottom, as PikaPals picks up the red cane and sets up another death abuse. Catfish was only worth 20 rupees.
And certainly not worth the walk. But
and also, just to clarify, these racers are in separate race rooms, so the runners on the bottom can't see when any of the runners on the top finish. So the decision that Hippo makes here is going to be very important. If Hippos makes the turn up north to Skull Woods, this will pay off dearly for him.
yeah, and so far, if he were to decide instead to head down to Thieves Town or the rest of the Village of Outcast, as far as I know, nothing's really come out of this yet.
Nothing that we have seen.
It seems like a more desirable play for the crystal, but with our knowledge, we know he wants to get that footwear.
DrunkenDraconian is only found the blue mail, and that's nice for a defensive upgrade, but it doesn't move the seed along. Hippos is making the right play, will be handsomely rewarded with the boots and the flippers, as we noted before, because Swamp Palace is not a crystal dungeon, may not have the pop in there, but it's good to have in case you need to.
Indeed.
So the boots and the flipper pickup for Hippos, gotta go fast. But Hippo still...
Oh, go ahead.
Hippo still has to go through here, because again, if you end up doing a death abuse, you end up right back falling through the hole that you came in through. That room with the orbs in them.
Right. So you want to go through here instead and get on out.
I'll show myself out.
Oh, and I didn't see when DD paused if we're expecting Blind to have an item or not.
I've not really been keeping up except for finding the blue mail in here. DrunkenDraconian here against Blind. Hippo will be picking up the Titan's Mitt really soon. As far as this race is concerned, as far as tournament races are concerned, this has been Hippo and DrunkenDraconian in the lead clearly. Blind did have an item, it was a bomb upgrade.
Indeed.
And DrunkenDraconian getting the 3rd crystal already at 43 minutes in, making 44 minutes. Let's see what else we have in this Village of Outcasts, because this Village of Outcasts has been kind of quiet so far.
Yeah, it really has.
We find an arrow upgrade. Here's another thing, by the way. Oh, Hippo takes a death. Now, the good thing is
I don't think he was wanting to take that one.
Yeah, the good thing is that he got the Titan's Mitt, which will make his return to the Dark World easier. But, well... You don't
having defeated Agahnim, yeah. It's gonna be the long road.
But maybe this could actually turn him on to something good, because he's gonna head to Hype Cave.
Yeah. On a red rang in the peg cave. Passed up by our runner.
Oh, Hippo's getting really, really nastily bothered by the guards here. Finally gets him free. Well, almost
Yeah,
until he ran
getting cornered against his pegs.
until he ended up getting through the skull. And so DrunkenDraconian heads on over to the digging game. Let's do another guessing game, guys. Rolling through 30. Which dig is DrunkenDraconian going to pick up the item? I'm going to say 12.
And in the meantime, we'll see if we get an actual hype cave or not.
Money so far.
Silvers.
And a sword upgrade.
All right.
And a sword upgrade.
All right, that is. Hey, I heard you need to beat Ganon later.
And wow, this was a long dig here to get a piece of heart.
Yeah, that might have been the max out.
If not the max, then very close to it. So that was somewhat hype cave.
Indeed.
Very nice to find. The tempered sword is good. We're going to see Hippos and DrunkenDraconian visiting the Flute Boy to find some more rupees. We know where DrunkenDraconian is going to go to next. So the advantage that, well, as far as between all four of these guys, the advantage that Hippo knows about, DrunkenDraconian is going to be coming across really soon.
Indeed.
And Sid finally picking up the hammer. We'll get the Kansas Mario in just a moment. Hippo is about to do a whole bunch of digging. And the death abuse there from Sid, and Hippo now doing some digging to get a piece of heart. And DrunkenDraconian is going to be very happy to find silvers and 2 sword upgrades.
Yeah, that's real nice getting both out of the way right there. And we do see PikaPals checking out some bonk rocks. Not finding much.
So for right now, the only item that we guarantee need at this point is a medallion, which you need to get into Misery Mire. We don't know which one yet. And a flute.
Again for Mire.
And you know the fun thing is, both of those items could still be on the pedestal, and wouldn't this be quite the turnaround seat if we ended up needing the fire rod and the ice rod and the hook shot in order to beat the seat? Oh, DrunkenDraconian's got the pyramid bomb.
Yeah, why not a second medallion while we're at it too?
DrunkenDraconian's got the early pyramid bomb.
Yeah, he must have been watching a couple of races in the past few days, thinking, "Oh boy, the new V26 meta."
And you need hookshot to get to Ganon, but the thing is, unless the pendant dungeons are required, there's a possibility that hookshot could be in Ganon's tower. And that was a disappointing trip to the Pyramid Fairy.
But one that he'll at least get the peace of mind from, as Hippo is about to decide how much he likes a red boomerang. Not very much.
Hippo says no.
Yeah. But the pyramid was not all bad today, as we had power gloves on it.
So Hippo will probably be making the path into Thieves Town coming up in just a moment. DrunkenDraconian is checking those boot spots we haven't seen yet.
Quite right.
So let's see what's at King's Tomb. And at some point in time, DrunkenDraconian is going to have to pop into a dungeon. Right now,
yeah, he's got...
Right now, we know that there's a second item in Desert that's eluding these guys.
Right, and it may be all the way back on Lambos, or it might just be somewhere early, but either way, he's going to want that crystal as well. And until he gets either Bombos, the hookshot, or the mirror, along with, of course, that flute and the medallion we talked about for Mire, it's pretty much, he's got Desert Palace next.
Yeah, and he's going to go check Zora right now, which we know has absolutely nothing that is required to beat this seed. So this is more of that doing overworld stuff at this point.
Yeah, and you don't blame him for making this check. It's 4 spots.
It is versus Desert, which only has 2 items, and we already know one of those items to be a bottle, but again, what is that second item? That second item is obviously behind the boot block.
Indeed.
So I think the first person who makes over to check Desert with the boots in hand might have the advantage.
Yeah, I would say that's got to be correct at this point because we already know everything about Drunken's route right now, and everything else is just catching up to him.
Up until now, I thought DrunkenDraconian had kind of the pristine route, but the overworld that he's checking right now, as we've now come to know, is absolutely unnecessary. But now could be the play that he needs to make. Time to head on over to Desert.
And I think he's off. I'm really anxious for these guys to get up Deathmatch, get over to the east side, be able to check Hera.
Well, we already know that at this point, we're going to have to find something that gets him over to the east side. So the hookshot's probably going to need to be found at some point in time.
Yeah, that is the item that would be the simplest solution here, and then we would actually be able to get away with never even seeing the mirror.
Yep, but if
potentially.
So I take back what I said earlier. The mirror or the hookshot could be in Ganon's tower, based on what we know right now. Not both. Both can't be.
Correct. Yeah, one of them's going to be necessary to get to Hera.
Well, to get to Hera as well as to get to Ganon's tower later on.
Well, yeah, that too.
So it was a piece of heart that was on the ledge on the desert here, and it's time to find out what the 2 items inside of this desert palace is. As we already noted, one of them is a B-Torp. The other? I don't know.
All I can say is it has to be less valuable. B-Torp and out.
I'll tell you what, though, if we find Bombo's medallion here in this desert, that will be screaming, go to Ice Palace next.
Yeah, and that would certainly be interesting. We don't often see the Bombos only Ice Palace.
So it turned out the big key was on the torch, which means that the big chest is going to have the small key. And that's going to hurt.
Yeah, the freeze frame there with the laser impending was a bit of a sight.
PikaPals now heading over to find the Titans Bit. And again, DrunkenDraconian picking up the guaranteed key. So Hippo's the last one to finish off. Well, I think, actually no, I take that back because Sid hasn't done Thieves Town yet.
In fact, the lead for Hippo seems to just continue to grow, unfortunately. Sid.
There's the Bombos in the desert!
Oh man.
You know what that means.
We have to burn you, Adirondack Rick. You're a witch.
Have fun with the remainder of this race. I'll talk to you later.
No. But you've been calling these ones today. You're right on the money. And as you had said before, we're off to Ice Palace.
Yep, on to DrunkenDraconian picks up this crystal out of desert. We are going to be heading it over to Ice Palace. That is pretty much where the seed wants them to go.
Yeah.
So my question is, how are you going to burn me? Are you going to burn me with the with that bombos?
Well, I was going to take the time to find the fire rod. I'm just curious at this point.
Well, at this rate, the fire rod is going to be in Turtle Rock.
World tour continues for Hippo.
Has anyone took the dwarf back yet? I want to say no.
I haven't seen it myself, but I'm certainly not seeing each of the screens all the time.
You know the beautiful thing about having silver arrows?
Makes Lamos, Vitreous, and then the repeat of Lamos pretty darn quick.
If you're on target, it definitely will.
Oh. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as they say.
Wasn't that a Meatloaf song?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Well, Hippo's about to tell us what is via the dwarf say it is just a heart container.
Oh. And cover me 1 sec.
What should I cover you with? As PikaPals, we'll have the Frog World Tour going on with the trip into the Hype Cave. Find 2 great sword upgrades and the silver arrows.
Alright. Had to take care of a noise liability. Did I miss anything in the moment I was gone?
Well, let's see. DrunkenDraconian finished off the Lammoldus. He's going to be going off and checking over and seeing what Ice Palace has in store. Hippo is checking to see what the Hobo has in store. And, well, King's Tomb together with the Dwarf Breadsmith. Here's some money.
World Tour number 2.
So DrunkenDraconian is pretty much making the path that I would expect one to make at this point. Get into a dungeon and check it right now.
Yeah, this is absolutely the smart way to play this one out. Regardless of what might be in the pendant dungeons at this point. You've got crystals you can beat. That's got to be the play.
And really, honestly, the only way that this does not pay off is if it turned out that the Gary's chest, the purple chest, or lock chest it is, has something in there. Finding a key there for DrunkenDraconian is a nice find because this makes this Ice Palace a little bit easier.
Yeah, that is correct. That is what you want to see out of that first chest. Unless you're just an item off of go mode and then you don't care quite as much.
Yeah, if you're that item away from go mode, you're like, you're gonna send me all around all of Ice Palace, aren't you?
Yeah, but right now we're still holding down for that flute. And then we need the hookshot or the mirror.
Yep. And the reason why the hookshot or mirror is required because you can't access Tower of Hera without either one of those two, or without one of those two.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we'll need that hookshot eventually. But it could be in Ganon's tower.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, oh man, I would feel for our runners having to decide to route that one.
So let's see, we find the big key in chest number 2, but we still have the search to find where the hookshot is. Everyone guess where the hookshot turns out to be. Here's the bomb strap, and, well, bombs away.
Took a couple of hits, but got the hearts on the drop, so it all works out.
I'm surprised DrunkenDraconian is not going straight to the right, but maybe he's going to try to do these freeze wars first and then head back upstairs. That's an evil menu, by the way.
Yeah, this thing is just some kind of Rorschach pattern.
Well, there's the big key. So, if I was Drunken Draconian, I would actually go back upstairs and go through the key door on the right, but Drunken Draconian is not going to do that.
He's gonna check out this big chest and get a frozen burrito.
Frozen burrito. Nah, I'm not gonna make a joke. Drunken Draconian is thinking about something, and it looks to me that Drunken Draconian was actually thinking about just going right straight to Cold Stare.
Honestly? I mean, at this point, by the time you drop down there anyway, then you kind of almost might as well. But, you know, the problem being, of course, he knows he's going to have to come back in or just walk up the stairs and do this.
And I do agree with Amazing Ampharos. I do disagree with this routing decision from Drunken Draconian, only because of the fact you got the key out of the very first chest, which made the right-hand side easily accessible. And now you're going to get into the point where this game thinks that you have the hook shot.
Yeah. Overall, I think he must have gotten a little confused on the way through. So we see him now working backwards.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes right straight to Cold Stare at this point. The rate he's going...
He has the big key.
He's thinking about it. He is thinking about it.
I think he forgot he had the big key already, but... Oh, man. Yeah, he's kind of got himself all wrapped up.
Doesn't even matter if he's got the big key.
Well, I just meant for getting back
downstairs.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, in the meantime, we do have the Armos pickup over for PikaPals.
So for Drunken Draconian, the only way he's going to have to do this is with a bomb jump now. And you just saw him sword slash there. That's like an oh shucks sword slash.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I guess he's more comfortable with this one.
We'll see if he's able to do this bomb jump, because that's really the only way he's going to be able to progress at this point.
Yeah. Oh no.
And he falls off before the bomb explodes.
Yeah, he slips away. I think we'll get it this. Oh.
Just a little short, and he's down to 2 hearts, so that means he's got to get it this time, I think.
Right. There we go.
He got it.
In the meantime, all 3 of our other runners at various positions in Desert Palace.
He also has to be careful because that cape is not infinite time.
Yeah, no.
He might be
getting some magic drops.
Yeah. So he's going to go upstairs first. This is an interesting ice palace here for Drunken Draconian. We have a feeling there's going to be something progressing the seed here. But the question is, what's going to happen? That's a small key. That's not what he wants to see. 3 of our runners are in desert right now. I like this.
Yeah, right now, Draconian's only doing his opponent favors, it seems like. But there goes the
Butter Sword. No, that does not progress the seed.
Yeah, only makes this final boss in IP just that much easier.
That may have been the one time in your game you actually didn't want to see butter.
Yeah, really.
And let's see what's in this chest. It's the compass. Cold Stare had the item.
Oh my.
Drunken Draconian's just walking around this ice. Like he's lost. He's not used to this setup without the hook shot.
Yeah, I think that must be it, or something's just getting to him.
But look at his magic meter.
Yeah, he's gonna have to take a stop in that little side room.
Well,
look, he's got the keys.
He's got bombos. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think he's a little short on it, so at least he doesn't need the full. But like that there does it.
But here's the other problem, being down to two and a half hearts against Cold Stare. Blue mail or no blue mail?
Yeah, I mean, it's, he's gonna have to pull off the quick kill just about perfectly.
The Butter Sword's gonna help out with that. So that is a blessing in disguise for DrunkenDraconian. But again, you take a hit to Cold Stare. If you miss up on this Bombos usage and it ends up dying for you, well, that's it.
Hey.
He's gonna switch on over to the cape.
Hey.
Again, that time's not infinite either.
Right. Let's see.
He needs to get this fight done.
And he does. Very nice.
Nobody puts Cold Stare in the corner except for DrunkenDraconian.
And there's the hook shot. Oh my.
There's the hook shot. Access to the Tower of Hera and Eastern Death Mountain is now open.
Yeah, he's got the next dungeon in his sights, along with, what, at least, wow, it's got to be, like, 13 more chests.
Yep, he's got the 7 in the Light World, plus the Spiral Cave.
Oh, yeah.
That makes 8.
Yeah.
Plus the Super Bunny Cave is 10, plus Hookshot Cave is 14, plus the Tower of Hera, plus the Ether Tablet.
Plus potentially the Floating Island. We haven't even been over there yet.
Well,
but he'll want the mirror for it if he needs to get it.
Yeah, you can't get it without the mirror.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, we'll see it. And who knows? It might be the goods.
If it's the goods, that's the flute. Wouldn't that be something if the flute's on the floating island?
Yeah, and then we have to go on a search for the mirror. Now we got a little bit of grandpas hanging out with each other on Drunken's feed.
Old man leading the blind, old man leading old man. Hippo checking Spike Cave. Magic powder.
Oh man.
Hippo, show us something interesting here. PikaPals is a nice palace.
You'll probably see him take a look at the Bat Cave. It's close by.
He is rushing right straight there, so Batman.
Meanwhile, we do see PikaPals again, hot on the trail in the coldest dungeon.
Which has the butter sword, it has the hook shot. Hippo, is Hippo going to be a lucky runner? What does the Bat Cave have? Here we go. And Hippo is going to find Red Mail.
All right.
Not bad,
Not
but not
great.
what you need to see to beat the game.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the 7K, 7 chests.
All right.
Money, love.
Well, he needs his fame, and then he's got it all, right?
More money,
More money.
more bombs, more love. Hippo going to ice. More money and more arrows.
Wow. Perfect
That was-
0 out of 7.
That was a total dud out of those 7.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, and he
Paradise
takes a
Cave.
fall trying to set up a bomb jump. Hippo just had barely enough magic to get the bombos off.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and obviously he's going to need to refill that before he gets down to Cold Stare.
He needs to get it before he gets to the freeze war room, but he should be fine. PikaPals going through Ice Palace. Did we see what was on the island?
It was 3 whole bombs. So, no goods.
Now DrunkenDraconian is going to check the Ether tablet and go into Hera. and bonk right into the Tower of Hera. Did you feel that earth-shaking orb? Yeah, I did. What was that? Here is 20 rupees. Buttersword pick up there for PikaPals. PikaPals knows pretty much the name of the game will be to go on over to Cold Stare coming up.
Yep.
DrunkenDraconian finding the small key. Where you don't want to see a small key.
Yep, it's basement time.
Well, not yet. It all depends on what's in this first floor.
True.
Feeling good when you get that small key. Oh, well. Wait a second.
Is that fire or ice?
That was not. That's the ice rod.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. He just got a small key.
Yeah,
He's gonna find out. Shoot! I don't have the big key.
Something is missing. And he doesn't have the mirror, so we'll just take the shortcut, we'll say. And work his way down to the basement.
Well, we'll check to see when DrunkenDraconian ends up pulling up the menu which one he grabbed.
I believe our tracker.
It is the fire rod.
Oh, I trusted you. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Lav and been doing a great job.
So was the fire rod out there?
It makes this next room just that much quicker.
Well, here's the thing with the fire rod. You remember, we already pulled out both the items, but what dungeon turned out to be the green pendant?
Skull Woods. Might be time to go back.
That fire rod also opens the door to Turtle Rock. Or at least, of that we know of at this point.
Right, we'll be able to get all the way down to everything but Trinex.
Well, that depends based on what the medallion is required.
Oh, that
and
too.
Remember, that is a pendant dungeon, and that pendant dungeon has had treasure in it before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we still got the dreaded laser bridge, and this has been a cape-featured seed. We had no hook shot to get across the spikes and IP. We had Bumper Cave. We had Agahnim. I want to say there was another spot that Drunken used his cape earlier that worked out nicely. Might have been his blind fight, or perhaps that was Hippo. But at this point, I'm calling anything that requires cape.
So 3 of our runners are currently in this beautiful place called Ice Palace. PikaPals just destroying that Cold Stare to get the hook shot.
Very nice. Yeah, that butter sword just makes that amazingly quick if you can get that spin to send him to the corner.
There's the mirror!
Oh, man. That's a whole bunch of Overworld to open for him.
So by the way, now that does pretty much almost put the flute in guaranteed go mode now. Obviously, Misery Mire dependent, and Moldorf says, hi! Bonk.
And then
bye!
I was going to say, and then he says bye. But yeah, we're pretty much down to the flute and a medallion check. The interesting thing, of course, being we won't know until we get the flute whether or not we need a different medallion.
Well, that opens up the completion of 2 pendant dungeons right now.
Sure does.
Now, don't forget DrunkenDraconian didn't search up the Spiral Cave yet, nor did he actually check the Hookshot Cave, but this will make things a whole lot easier now.
Oh, definitely. And you do have to like this routing. He has to get back down there to make the warp. I guess he could have done it on Turtle Rock as well, but he'll be able to go spiral, drop down, come back up through Super Bunny and Hookshot.
Hippo is heading to Cold Stare. Sid is catching up some, by the way.
Yeah, he sure is.
We were talking about it earlier about how Sid was far behind where Hippo was, but he is catching up something fierce.
Yeah, quite well.
Now, Sid is going to opt to go grab this third item, and I can't blame him at this point, or the second item. Can't blame him at this point.
Oh, not at all.
He's not that far behind. And DrunkenDraconian, did he make it to the chest in time or no?
I don't remember hearing the fanfare.
He did not. So he lost out on Spike Cave. Now we know there was nothing good in Spike Cave, but now that's gonna be
he may as well SQ. Go back up to the mountain cave. Yeah, and Hippo having another characteristic cold stare fight, having the butter sword. And I think what ended up closing the gap for those two was you check the differences on their tracker. We had Hippo did some more Overworld, getting the red mail and the powder.
Well, you gotta remember, as far as DrunkenDraconian PikaPals was, DrunkenDraconian just started checking Overworld spots.
That too, yeah. Both of our runners who had the lead checking lots of Overworld, and definitely still in the lead, but with a much tighter gap now. And so we'll see Drunken decide to route in Super Bunny and Hookshot rather than going up the west side of the mountain.
I like this. I really like this. We got a tight race coming up.
Yeah, it's really closing in. Oh.
And neither of these runners are in go mode at an hour 16. There's a second bottle.
Bunny?
There's the food!
Oh, man. And at this point, he just wants to get outside.
If I'm DrunkenDraconian, I'll check the Hookshot Cave. I'll see what is needed to get into Turtle Rock just in case. And then I'm going to book it for Kakariko Village so I can find out what medallion is required. Oh no, he's not even going to do that. He's not even
bothering with Hookshot. Oh, man.
He's just going to save and quit. He is going right straight to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, he's going to activate that flute and go ahead and head on down to Mire, I guess.
We have a 1 in 3 chance of this being go mode. If the medallion on Misery Mire reads Bombos, we are in go mode. If it is anything but Bombos, we're in no mode.
And Fluffy Absol giving it another name, calling it or saying flute enables blow mode.
Oh, it's time for the good old anthem.
Get your swag ducks in chat.
Boom. Oh, Spiral Cave had the mushroom.
Interesting.
Okay, DrunkenDraconian is going to find out right now. A 1 in 3 chance of him being in go mode. It all depends on what turns out to be in this Misery Mire. And he's going to go visit the potion shop so he can elongate this dramatic moment in this race to find out whether or not he has really done this. DrunkenDraconian.
So Rock, he takes the warp.
Will let us know whether or not he's in go mode. And he
is
in go mode. Bombos required for Mire.
Wow, the absolute madman.
1 hour 18:40. DrunkenDraconian is in
go mode?
That is correct. Hippo is going to be kinging the flute really soon himself.
And we'll see if he ends up taking any more of a cautious route here as he makes his way outside of Super Bunny Cave.
Well, the thing is, this Hippo didn't go to Hera.
Oh, so he hasn't.
So he hasn't gotten the mirror, nor did he get the fire rod yet.
Right. And in either case, if you're going to go over to Hera, this check doesn't take long.
So let's see if this is going to be the god setup here to Misery Mire. If we find the big key, either in the first 2 chests, this is an amazing setup. That's a shield. That's not a big key.
The 3-shield GT Dream is dead as soon as it's brought up.
Exactly. Hippo's going to go activate the flute. And that is a small key. So nope. This is not the freest of Misery Mires.
Yeah, and I guess what we're probably going to see out of a Hippo now is routing Mire in and then just doing Tower of Hera with a warp setup.
Yeah,
so then you can jump right GT.
So you gotta remember, he does now know where that Mire is.
Oh, yeah. He can't set up the warp until he gets it.
He's gonna get extremely lucky out of that then. Turned out Turtle Rock required Bombos. Not that it's really essential at this point. And DrunkenDraconian still in search for the big key. That is a second shield. 2 shields in Misery Mire.
Oh, man.
And Hippo finding the Bombos. And will continue to search because he has yet to see the Fire Rod or the Mire at this point. PikaPals are hot on the tail now with the flute in hand. So Hippo going into Misery Mire, DrunkenDraconian is going to see if it's in the big key chest.
And it's a vanilla big key. Oh boy.
Wow, that's an ugly big key location. Sid had to, because he didn't have the ability to death warp, ended up having to go back downstairs to flick the switch.
Oh no.
So he's back upstairs now. He's perfectly fine. Hippo now, the first into Misery Mire of these 2 runners, PikaPals, is stalking DrunkenDraconian. And don't count PikaPals out just yet.
Oh, definitely not. As we said at the beginning of the race, we got strong competition going on here. And if either of our runners slips up, that's going to create just what the other needs in order to close this thing out.
And don't forget, Hippo is in here, has not finished Tower of Hera. So while it does look like Sid is far behind Hippo at this point, it's not that far back. And granted that the Tower of Hera is not a long path, Hippo is still searching for that fire rod, for that Mire,
Sid.
And Sid taking a fall.
Yeah, the one thing that I'll say kind of gives Hippo the edge still is the fact that Sid needs to go get that flute yet. It's very likely it will be routed in immediately following the dungeon. But
Draconians get those silver arrows lined up.
Sid takes a second fall in the meantime.
Now, Blue Male has still got to be careful of those eyeballs. As you saw, DrunkenDraconian end up dodging him, gets the eyes down, gets the Mire all set and ready to go. He is down. And ladies and gentlemen, DrunkenDraconian is going to be the first one to ascend up to Ganon's Tower. There's something that we like to do during Ganon's Tower.
That's right.
Take it away.
Well, there are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower in which we can find the big key. That which, of course, we need to make our final ascent. Go ahead and pick a number 1 through 22, or if you know some of the more named locations, get those in the chat. And let's all wager, where's the big key?
What are we wagering?
I usually put Herfy Durfy's level in the line. I think I gave that away once already, and there might not be, well, I gave it away once already.
Wouldn't Herfy Durfy be upset to find out that we're giving away his love?
He didn't say anything about the first time, but...
While he's sleeping? Or supposedly sleeping?
I don't think... Herfy Durfy's German. They don't sleep.
Oh, that's right, that German engineering.
Well, at least according to Tear.
Oh, he's actually not sleeping. He's doing commentary in another race.
Well, there we go. Although that doesn't rule him out of sleeping, let's be real.
Sleep commentating?
Hopefully not. But it's a possibility. Yeah, we did see the numbers roll by.
I picked 16, by the way.
I'm gonna stick with my classic 11. I don't think I've been right once this tournament. At least that I've seen. And all the excitement people are dropping the Doritos in chat. Oh boy.
You're going to be cleaning up the chat, correct?
Yeah, you guys have to get those crumbs.
I'm a moderator. I can't be expected to clean up after you guys.
Right.
Just to remind people, this is a 1 versus 1 race. There are 2 1 versus 1 races going on. All 4 of these runners are doing the same seed. It is Sid versus Hippo on the top, PikaPals versus DrunkenDraconian on the bottom. There will be winners out of both of those races. DrunkenDraconian about to go into Ganon's tower.
Indeed. While this is bad news for PikaPals, Hippo is perhaps in a much tighter situation with Sydarial.
So chest number 1 is a 20 rupees. Chest number 2 is a 10 arrow. So we're not going to be able to see the right-hand strats here for DrunkenDraconian. PikaPals is hot on DrunkenDraconian's tail, though.
Indeed. Yeah, and the way this is shaping up, we're looking at a tile room. We had 2 trash items to start. Vanilla torch, and everybody say bye to Bob.
Bye, Bob.
As Hippo finishes up Misery Mire.
And Sid has the flute. So, Hippo...
Right on. Looks like he's off to activate.
Where's Hippo
Right.
going to go to next? Will he go to Tower of Hera next, or will he be in search of that mirror? Will he be in search of that flute, or rather fire rod? We've gone through 7 chests so far.
I don't think he will, because he doesn't actually need it, right?
Well, he's going to go back up to Death
Oh,
Mountain.
right side GT. I've been forgetting this whole time.
The thing is, Hippo at this point did not do Tower of Hera.
Right. But
And then Hippo just
perhaps thinking
realized
about-
that he doesn't have the mirror, so he can't go up the Tower of Hera through the left side.
Quite right.
Hippos. And here's the thing, if Hippos doesn't check the tests, he might be out of that mirror. I don't see why he wouldn't be checking chest up here. But if he doesn't, this could be quite the wild race going on here.
Yeah, it'll mean having to get all the way over across the top half of the mountain and all the way back. Where if he does pick up the mirror, he has a much easier time. Or actually, no, because of where he's picking it up. Forget that.
Big Key is not in the randomizer room.
Nope.
So Hippo's gonna go downstairs, get the small key. He will get the fire rod. Because he's gonna hope to get the big key out of that chest and then find out, oh, he's gotta go through the torches. DrunkenDraconian is coming upon chest number 14. We have yet to see the big key here. PikaPals is still hot on his tail.
Oh no.
Oh, if the big key is at Bob, he just really made a big error here.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. For DrunkenDraconian's sake, he better hope that the big key is not in the Bob chest.
Yeah. Oh jeez. And that's gonna mean likely an unusual trip. Oh,
And
there
it is. Never mind.
Yeah, and he
Drunken
is.
Draconian has been saved.
Meanwhile, PikaPals making entry here. Depending on... Alright, gonna start with the right side 2 chests. And Drunken with the 2 small keys on the way up this tower too is going to be able to neglect all of the chests. Won't even have to worry about the mini Helmas.
Hippo gets the big key out of the Tower of Hera torch room. No mirror, so you have to take the long way around.
Well,
And, well, that was bad usage of the crystal switch right there from DrunkenDraconian. Got it with 4 of those tiles things, 5 of them.
Yeah.
And Hippo... Oh, Hippo did the same thing. I think PikaPal... No, Sid did.
yeah.
Hippo did the same thing that Sid did. Forgot that you have to reflip the switch here before you go back upstairs.
And the first room of the gauntlet is down.
Right now, this is DrunkenDraconian's race to win. This is also Hippo's race to win. Hippo is well in front of Sid at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
And the big key pickup there for Sid. Hippo heading through this Tower of Hera. He will get the mirror. That is incredible luck there for Hippo. And you want to know why?
Well, he wants to get back to the start of GT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess the one thing in a small way helps out with that is at least the key was actually at Armos. And so you can take that vanilla route back to the lobby, but even so, the mirror is obviously that much faster.
Sid is close enough at this point that that kind of thing would impact as far as time is concerned.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, don't forget, because Hippo did not have a portal outside of the Tower of Hera, he's going to have to go back over to Turtle Rock
Right.
before he can go into Ganon's Tower. So Hippo done with the Tower of Hera will be soon going into Ganon's Tower, but he's going to go through the Turtle Rock portal. And so Hippo going through the portal, heading over to Ganon's Tower. Sid is going up against Vitreous.
Meanwhile, DrunkenDraconian about to take down his Moldorm 2.
If Trolldorm actually wants to play nice.
Oh, when you got the golden sword and the boots, he only plays nice.
And says no to the chest. Runs
Not
away from it.
unreasonable, considering.
And will be the first one to head over to Agahnim 2.
And we have PikaPals in the first room of the ascent with Draconian in the last.
Stay tuned, because coming up after this race, we have Cross Product taking on Yagamoth and Kyog92 against Desambai. Both of those races coming up at 10 o'clock, so we have another quad race coming up. V-Torp and Jeb will be on commentary for that. Looking forward to it.
Oh, nice. The lineup, but also the Agahnim.
They did find the validation arrow. We found it earlier in this run. I forgot where it was. Doesn't really matter. Agahnim is down for DrunkenDraconian.
Indeed, and we're gonna get a look at the big pig. See what he has to tell us when we drop in today.
Oh, how about a breakfast for your insides?
I'm interested in hearing the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise myself.
Well, maybe he'll just quote Sting. No, but it's the Zelda 2 reference.
Oh, man.
VTorp needs to program some Tom Petty references.
Yeah, rest his soul.
Absolutely. And I know the song you'd want to use for it. I won't back down.
PikaPals is a very nice land, too. Alright, and Sydarial, I want to say coming in to the tower a minute after Hippo. So that's how close that race is.
Yeah, those two are still in a very tight race. It's really exciting to see all four of these guys heading towards the finish of this race. And DrunkenDraconian doesn't get the torch glitch, but I think... Oh, he almost fell.
Oh, yeah, that was close.
He's going to want to use his blue goo.
Yeah, good thing
there
he has
goes. There he goes.
Yeah, that trips to Flute 2, always worth it.
And down goes Ganon. Although that was really tight. That could have been a death. A death or a fall. And maybe both. We saw that happen. And DrunkenDraconian about to go through the door. We'll have an official SRL time right now. Yes, he finishes 1:36.23.
Very nice. And down goes Dr. Wily.
And because we're currently behind, I think we're going to have the interviews be really brief, but we will try to at least get the winners of the races in here for a moment. PikaPals currently getting the validation chest to turn out to be one of those 20s.
Of course, got to get that validation. Oh, and Hippo having to reset the pots for the bonk? Is that what I saw a backtrack for?
I think so.
Oh, geez. That's exactly the type of thing that's going to tighten up this race. Hey,
and we welcome DrunkenDraconian. Congratulations on your win.
Yeah, GG.
I can't believe that.
Well, PikaPals is currently on Aga 2.
Okay, so it was really close. That scene was pretty free. Like, everything was just in the next spot all the way through.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Well, to me, it seemed like PikaPals tried to ignore having to go to Aga 1 a little bit longer than you did, and that allowed you to take a lead, and then everything fell into place based on where things were in Pod.
It was definitely in the back of my mind with my first two items being Cape and Lamp. It was just like, probably Aga, most likely.
Yeah, it seemed to jump right out at you at the beginning.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I knew I was probably ahead when I found Bo in Escape.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he probably didn't get Moon Pearl. I don't know. I was just thinking if there was a chance to get an edge, that was probably it.
You definitely had it first, from what I remember. He did go there, but not for a while. Between that, the reticence for Agahnim, and then also you got into Pod and did the work you needed to do. And how about the nearly vanilla hammer?
I know. I was just happy that Pod had a whole bunch of stuff. That seems to be the theme these days.
Right. Yeah, with the 5 possible, it's never a bad move.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about your Ice Palace, because it seemed like you were a little lost for a bit there.
Yeah, Ice Palace is probably my weakest dungeon to do off the cuff. Like, I still don't know it as well as I should, essentially. And I know I'm not good at the bomb jump there without the hook shot, and I was considering just going down and fighting Cold Stare but I really didn't want to leave anything behind. Like, the whole play was get into Ice Palace with Bombos and clear everything, because it seemed to be the theme, just find all the items in all the dungeons.
And if I may interrupt just a second, get the GGs in the chat for PikaPals finishing up with, can you get us an SRL time, Bob? Or Bob Adirondack, I'm sorry.
Okay, sure, I'll give you a SRL time.
Oh, if you're not in there, don't worry about
PikaPals
it.
finishes. It's 139.41.
All right. But yeah, Ice Palace is obviously just backtrack city, and so to have that be the weakest dungeon of a very strong run is not a surprise, and still works out quite fine.
Yeah, the big thing was I knew I had to probably go to the beginning again, which is why I probably should have just did Gold Stair and maybe like pop back in to check it out. But I figured I would try the bomb jump, and if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I mirror back, essentially.
Right. And yeah, now that you mention, as I recall, you had quite the finish on that Cold Stair fight.
Oh yeah,
Down to very low health, but that trek out to get the Butter Sword kind of proving some worth. In that
yeah,
case.
the Butter Sword really helped, and just having the cape as safety was pretty big too.
Oh, definitely.
And we welcome PikaPals to the conversation. GG.
GG PikaPals.
GG.
One other thing I wanted to talk about this run regarding for you, Drunken Draconian, you missed the Bob chest because you got hit with the bomb on the wrong side.
Yep.
How nervous were you that ended up having the big key?
Very nervous until I found the big key. Very nervous. I've done it before in a run where that was the case. And yeah, I was kind of NMGing the dungeon a little bit, just like, you know, blow the hole, get down there. You never really need to do that chest, and sometimes my muscle memory still gets me from that.
My last question I want to ask, and then I'll turn to PikaPals, and then we'll pay attention to the finale of the other race. How happy were you to find the Bombos was the required thing for Mire?
Very happy, since I kind of hastily mirrored and save and quit. I was like, it better not be in Hookshot Cave. That's all.
Right.
all I was hoping. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I was very, very happy to see that it was Bombos. I was even just like going up to check the shed, knowing that it probably wasn't the pendant, but lucky me.
Right. Yeah, ended up paying off big.
Yeah, that was kind of my goal, was to take a few risks and gambles and hope that it paid off.
So, turning to PikaPals, tell me your thoughts about the run.
Yeah, it was a pretty reasonable seed. My early game went really badly, I think, and overall I don't think I was playing super well, but overall I was pretty fine, alright with it.
Yeah, I'd say it's fair. Your dungeons, yeah, were definitely your strong suit on this one. You hung right with Drunken in terms of execution. You guys both just wailed on the bosses.
I do want to pause while we talk about this, because we're getting to a really, really exciting point here for Hippo and Sid. Sid is currently at Moldorm 2. Hippo is currently at Aga 2.
Yeah, so this one's closing up. In nice fashion, yeah.
So we'll get back to this in just a moment here. I just want to pay attention to the finale for these two runners, as Hippo currently trying to get through Aga 2. And, getting hit right there. Sid is going to be at Aga 2, at least the start of the fight, as Hippo is going to be finishing off this fight. This is a close race.
Indeed. Oh,
and a blue ball, too.
Yeah, and ended up blanking on the frame. Oh, and only turning a single out of what could have been a double.
Sid could get back into this race right now, based on this, as Hippo just have a really, really rough Aga 2.
Yeah.
And Sid's also having a rough Aga 2 because of where that blue ball turned out to be. Trying to set up a nice hit here. I think that was a double. Oh, that orb didn't spawn. And there we go. Sid is down. Hippo is just about to begin Ganon.
That's a 25-second margin from the frame where Aga hits the floor.
25 seconds. Anything could happen with these two runners. They both have Butter Sword. They both have Silvers. Small things here could come into play. We could have a really tight finish here. Hippo is just wailing on this Ganon. Has to be thinking that his opponent has got to be really, really close. 4.5 hearts left to go.
Yeah, and making sure to get that cape activated nice and early.
Thankfully, with half magic, he's got some protections here. But he's got red mail. That's another good plus over what Sid has with 5.5 and blue mail. And
yeah, they're both looking at a tight fight.
Yeah. Hippo's on stage 3, Sid's on stage 2. But I think Sid is just wrapped up with stage 2, stage 3 now. Hippo, gets hit down to 2.5 hearts. I don't think this really matters if you get the torch glitch or not.
Yeah, probably not at this point, having the silvers.
Gets him over to the corner. That will be a single. Sid's got 3/4 of this down. Oh, the torch
and the arrow
out.
goes through. Does not hit.
Oh, this could be really, really close.
Yeah, this is coming down to it.
Trying to get the double.
And
Hippo gets the double.
Hippo. Wow.
Hippo is down. Sid almost down. One more hit to go. And
he grabs a double for it too.
He's going to get the dot done. He's going to see the dot done from Hippo during the fanfare. Hippo's in.
Oh, man.
And Sid about to go in as well. Hippo's 146.19. Sid 146.26. A difference of
7 seconds.
7.
Holy smokes.
Oh, wow.
Hippo's just barely getting it. And you mentioned there was a 25-second difference when Hippo's went to Ganon. Hippo's had that lead drop down to 7 seconds.
Yeah, it really shows you just how quickly that lead can change. It almost came down to that miss of an arrow on Hippo's side during the 4th phase. Man, what a race from all 4 of our runners.
Now, again, we're going to probably have to wrap things up really fast because we got another race that's just about to begin behind this. But we're going to try to get these 2 in here so we can at least talk about this really fast. PikaPals, DrunkenDraconian, if you guys want to talk while we're waiting for those guys, what's your thoughts as you head into week 3 of this tournament?
Try to win at least once more and maybe twice more. Get in there to the brackets. Or the group, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just have to put some more practice into this. Make sure everything's up to snuff.
Fantastic effort, you two.
Yeah, big thanks for commentating as well, guys.
Our pleasure, and thank you for the strong runs.
Oh, PikaPals. 153 on your menu time.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Wow. Yeah, we noted at one point the menu was coming together in something terrible as far as the pattern.
That Bombos medallion was difficult to get to the first time I needed it.
All right, let's go ahead and talk really fast to Hippo and Sid. What a finish, 7 seconds apart.
Wow, I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah,
It was
GG,
25
guys.
seconds, according to Epi, when Agahnim 2 dropped down on the floor when you went off to Ganon, and then just got tighter and tighter during that Ganon fight.
Yeah,
Your thoughts during the entire ordeal?
Not my proudest Ganon's Tower there, but I'm glad it worked out anyway. Some frustrating times where I think I was looking for some items when I really didn't understand what I was looking for a while, and then kind of came back and said, oh, I can go in Ice Palace. Duh.
How about this
Yeah.
breadcrumb of a seed?
It was a really interesting start. I mean, all we wound up with was the basic sword and the cape, and I kind of said, oh, that looks like Aga 1 to me. So we ran out of options of things. I mean, we didn't have any items early, so what else could we really do?
Aga 1.
Yeah, it turned out to be the ticket.
Yeah, it was kind of rough going into pod with green mail and only 7 hearts, but that wound up working out since the hammer just happened to be stowed away in there and just took the death, unfortunately.
Yeah, that ended up being one of my favorite parts of the seed was finding the nearly vanilla hammer for you guys, because that's a rough gamble to take, even when it feels so forced to be like, all right, pod I can't finish, but need to.
How about
Like-
that pendant Skull Woods having both the boots and the flippers? Flippers obviously wasn't super required because you could fake flipper to ice, but the fact that it had the boots.
Yeah, and it was free, and then right into the power mitts up there with the capes. So it was like everything we didn't get in the light world was suddenly being thrown at us. Now where do we go?
Right, the world being your oyster
Yeah,
can be a bit daunting.
double boots in Skull Woods, and then there was also double shields in Misery Mire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was almost as good as the 3-shield GT the other day.
Can you hear us, Sid?
I was
Oh,
going
he
to
has
say, I was
unmuted
having to find-
himself.
No, sorry about that.
Oh,
Hi,
no,
I
sorry,
can hear you
Hippo.
now.
Oh, hey, Sid. GG.
Yeah, I know where it cost me.
Yeah.
Completely
Well-
forgetting I had the bow and pod.
What you didn't know is that it was 25 seconds apart between you and Hippo heading out of Aga 2, so you caught up down to only 7 seconds difference on that Ganon fight.
Yeah.
And Aga 2 was not great for me. I knew I was behind as soon as I mistakenly screwed up in pod.
What did you end up doing in Pod?
Saving quit after guiding the compass, thinking I was bow locked.
Oh, right.
Also, early game, I probably should have went to the bomb hut instead of spending my 50 rupees on extra 10 bombs. I spent the 100 on the bottle merchant right before I went to Dark World from Aga, so I didn't have enough money for Kiki. So I knew.
Yeah, now that you mention that, I recall, and that was
Yep.
definitely a slow point.
Both you and Pika did have rupee issues at the Palace of Darkness era.
After that, I felt like I did pretty fine. Of course, the Titans Mitts happened to be at Bumper Cave.
Yeah, this was an interesting seed. You guys had a great run, and it was very entertaining, and what a finish here between you and Hippo.
Hey, thanks for having us, guys. It's really appreciated, and hope
Yeah.
you had fun watching. We had fun playing.
Mhm.
Well, good luck to all of you guys in week number 3. You know, let's give us another great pairing of races as we go throughout this entire Swiss portion of this tournament. Great job, guys.
Yeah, GG, guys. Thanks for sticking around.
Yep, GG.
Thanks,
Go
guys. Have a
ahead.
good night.
GG's.
Go ahead and follow all 4 of these runners, and once again, get your GGs out there and just congratulate them on a great run. We got to get out of here because there's another race that was supposed to begin about 20 minutes ago that we're late for, but we got to get going right now. So, Epi, I'm going to head around that Rick. You go ahead and send us on out of here.
And I'm Epipolitikus. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stick around. Enjoy the show.
Let's hand it on over to Jet. He's going to continue this broadcast. We got another quad race for you.